Hello? 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 Hello! This is OGMoo-cow, and welcome to another live stream. Today, I'm gonna be working on the calculator. So, let me just clear this weather and set the time to day. Isn't there a... Hold on. Slash game rule do... Is slash game rule do weather cycle not a thing? Can I not disable the rain? Am I just crazy or something? What the heck? Okay, interesting. Okay, so last time I was working on this, I got to this scenario where I have a zero programmed in, and I have this full thing that can program each bulb individually, so the 19 different ones, and it actually works pretty great, except for I'm having some issues with the screen, because when I do it, if I turn this on, for example, then this won't light other blocks next to it, which is good, right? So if I put it through a target block, it won't do that. But if I do that up here, then it actually will light other lamps next to it. So like if I do that, all those lamps are going to be lit. And we don't like that. So I essentially need to put this signal through a target block first. But I can't do that because then I'd have to put a lamp here, and that would make the screen have bits that pop out. And because this is already going through a block, it's not going to extend, so I can't just put another one there or replace this with a target block. But this needs to be a target block here because it's holding up that comparator that needs to be there. So I need to find a way to get this to work without that. So, yeah, I'm gonna try and figure that out. So, let's think. Right. That might work. Well, no, I just have the same problem I would before. If I put redstone here, then I need a target block there, because I can't stack redstone like that. And so, yeah, that might work, because then I can put target block and then the screen, and that would actually work. But then the problem is with the next layer, how do I get the screen to be here? Well, I don't. I can't just wirelessly send that signal across this gap. If I put a block here, then I'm just gonna end up with the same problem I had before, where it's staggered and I need it to not be. So unless there's a block that has the weird property of being able to push, like a non-block, so it's able to push full redstone, because it's not considered a block, but it's also able to sit on top of other redstone. I don't think that's a thing. What else is able to? These are the 4 main ones. These are all the main ones. I mean, yeah, that can push full redstone, but that's always active, so that's not helpful. Yeah, none of these are really helpful. So let me think. How do I get that redstone across this gap then? Does that work? No. And that also turns on that? That's weird. Hold on. Does that do that? Does this do that? Okay, no. Okay, so I can't even do that. I can't even put a block there because it'll cause this to... So I just need a way for the redstone to, like, hop one block so that I can do this. Or maybe something that isn't a block, but that other things can be supported by. Hold on. I know... Slabs! Hold on. Can you do this? If you can, that's going to be so helpful. I have no idea if that's how that works. It's probably not, but it'd be really cool if it was. Nope. You can't just push. Right. Can you even put? Not unless it's in the second half. Yeah, okay. Just like I thought. Wait, can do that. But I don't think slabs even push redstone in the first place. So that's not gonna work. I know glass has some weird behaviors with redstone. So we shall see if that's helpful. It's probably not, but it could be. How does glass behave? If I take redstone and I put a piece of glass here, and then some redstone dust, and then a lamp. Oh, I can't even redistribute power. Okay. Interesting. Wait a minute. Do I need these copper bulbs here? I might not. I might be able to use pistons instead, or hold on. I might be able to use pistons to even this out. If I take a... I do need the copper bulbs, otherwise I'd have to make a T-flop, or a flip-flop, or whatever you call it, some sort of switch. But I also know that I can do this. Means I could push it straight into a target block if I find a way to unstagger it. So if I have... Right. If I have my two sources, so my first source is there, my second is back here, then I want to, oh, wait. Wait, but they don't need to be staggered. And these can stack. Right? Because the problem I had before was I can't stack that. But I actually think that that might be stackable. Which then allows me to... Oh, wait. I forgot about weird quasi-connectivity stuff. If this was bedrock, that would work. That doesn't work. It was close. But I guess yeah, see, diagonally powered things power until that hasn't received a block update. I might be the first person to say that that's annoying. I usually hear people saying like, oh, bedrock doesn't have that? Wow. How do you ever do piston doors? And then I'm, well, I don't do bedrock redstone, or at least not recently. But, you know, that's actually a case where this is annoying. I can't do that. So because of that, they're both gonna stay powered unless I... So that piston idea isn't gonna work. But that bug is exclusive to pistons. Are there anything else? Is there anything else that can send an update like that? Universally? Let's think. What other redstone components can send updates? What? Why is wool under redstone blocks? I'm confused. Some of these are definitely the normal chest? Okay, what? Hi, little craft. I just realized I wasn't looking at my chat. I was in the wrong screen on my side monitor. Hello, little crafter. Good to see ya. I'm working on the calculator, and yeah, I can't figure out any way to unstagger these. Let's think. No, that won't work. That won't work. This was so close. But I know this has something to do with block updates, so if I'm constantly somehow triggering a block update on these observers, then it might work. Yeah, I'd have to think about that. Wait, let me see. Is that really how that works? I don't really know how. Okay, so that one doesn't turn on. If I do this, it works just fine. But for some reason, I turn this one on. Both pistons activate. But if I put any other redstone block there. What? How does that even make any sense? Why in the world would this piston activate? Does that one? No. Does this one? No. But this one does. Okay. Can you? No, you can't do that. Okay. So how can I unstagger? Because I need these to be staggered in order to read them with comparators. I can't just not have a staggered design in the first place. Unless you know how to get stuff from copper bulbs straight into redstone lamps. Or, wait a minute. If I make a fast enough pulse, do lamps have a delay? I just had a completely new idea instead of using the copper bulbs in the first place at all. If lamps don't have a delay and I can simply place a like that, I can! The lamp doesn't turn off. I don't need this system at all. Hold on, I have an idea. all I need to do is just have this pulsing, which I know exactly how to do that. So then I can just take the target block. I just have to change up the on system a little bit, which is fine. I can do that pretty easily. Alright, let me just... I'm gonna come back to that later. I'm gonna try and make this on system. Okay, so instead of sending a single pulse... Wait, actually, I can use that copper bulb system, because this is still gonna only send it. Well, no, I have the pistons here. Right, the piston sends the signal down. Or the piston just completes the loop. That's gonna make a lot of noise, but it's fine. So it means I'm gonna need to change this system a little bit. Because what's gonna need to happen instead is... Okay. Right. So I'm gonna need to change this system up a little. That's fine though, I can do that. Right, I can go like this. Wait, no, wait. Yeah, that's how I want it. Okay. Right, and then I can just bring this all the way down. Wait, no. Because I only need it, I need it to be if one of these is there. It'll finish. That would require all of them. That would require a complete switch of this function. But I can use that mechanic as a stabilizer. No, because I can't use the piston thing anyway. Okay, yeah, so I'd need to flash these pistons every time. But this is designed only to send a stable signal. Or a one-time signal. This would need a way to continue that signal. So essentially this system would have to be, when you turn it on, you're completing that. I know. I have an idea. This might be a stupid idea. Let's see if it can even fit. We can always move that more later. So I'm gonna push it up to like here, right? But essentially, you move that out. It sends a signal down this plane. And it's a constant loop. Because which direction is this moving? It's in the down arrow, which means the face is facing up. Yeah, so then all I have to do is just that. this should now be flashing. Except that doesn't receive a signal. Right, you can't just turn like that. It's not that simple to turn. Assuming, well, no, it'll be in the way. Well, but then I can just send the signal down. Well, no. How do I send the signal down? Right. How do I turn the signal? I turn the signal like that. Something's watching it right there. And then something's watching it. And then we can go down. And the signal can go down. Until it turns off. Wait, that's actually perfect. Hold on. That might actually work. And then I wouldn't need these repeaters anymore, right? I also wouldn't need this. That'd be redundant to have it go all the way to the bottom when it's not needed. Well, hold on. 0 is right there, right? So I just have to make sure, right? But like I should be able to just go like that. I think. Oh wait, actually the 0 would mean I'd have to make this even lower. Right? Because in order to fit the same thing, double, yeah. Wait. Will that even fit between all of these? Because essentially what that means is that I need to take I need to put a block at every one of these. I need to go like that, face it up, right? But I'm gonna need one of those watching. If there's one of those watching here, then the signal can't travel down anymore. So that wouldn't even work. Never mind. Right? Yeah, that configuration won't even work because sure I can have that watching, but then that signal's not gonna get to the bottom anymore. Okay. So from this turner on thing, how can I convert a on signal that's like it's on? These move out of the way. These are now showing it's on. How can I read that? In a way that I can stack it. Because I could just push it there, and that would work. But the problem with that is that that's not stackable. So how can I push that in such a way that it can then be read from anywhere, right? If any one of these turns on, a signal at the bottom will be received. I know. You can just keep the current system. Actually, yeah, that would work. Hold on. I just need to get a comparator. and some yellow wool. Right? Because under the current system, right, or it'd have to be like over, and then, or how was it turning before? That's not how. Oh yeah, that's right. It'd be like this. And then you just go piston. Wait, what? Oh. That's way more complicated than I want it to be. Okay. But it'll work. I just don't like that. This seems like a very hacky way to do it, and like there's a way cleaner way. But it'll work. It'll work. I just don't like this very much. But yeah, I can do that. So I guess I'm going to. Right? I can actually back that up a couple spaces. Because then I can take yellow. And then I can go here. Boom. 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 Wait, hold on. First of all, does that work? Turn that on. Oh, it does. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, it's because I need to set that to 2 ticks. Hold on. Now it should work. Okay, yeah. That actually works. So then all I need to do is just that. Oh wait, it's not even that. It's this. Comparator. Boom. Boom. There we go. That'll do it. Right. And then I can just break these. Right, and for the first 4, that's easy. The next 4, it's a little more complicated because they would have to remain on the same level, which would be here. But the problem with that is, right, then I need to send it, well, actually no, that's not a problem at all. I can just do that. That's actually fairly simple. Okay. Yeah, so that works, and I can break all this infrastructure that I built here, because I don't need it. And then I can use World Edit. I'm really glad I have World Edit. This makes it so much faster to make this thing, because this is kind of ridiculous. So I can just kind of eat the rest of that. do is just come over here, select this entire thing. Slash stack, or it's slash stack 19 forward. Make a region first. I thought I already did that. What? I gotta be looking forward when I do that. There we go. Okay. That entire system was copied forward. That's really useful that I can do that. Didn't copy this forward, though. Might as well. What did that do? Yep, I wasn't looking forward. I'm glad there's undo. Wait, I need to be looking forward. There we go. So then now I can just which direction is it? It's that way. Okay. So then I can just kind of. I can go. And then I can come to here, and I can go one more, and I can go two more, and I can go three more for the last three of these, like so. And there we go. That should fix it pretty well. Yep. Okay, so then I can now make the screen. Right, so I just need to copy this. I can actually push the screen a little further back. It doesn't need to be so far forward. I don't know why it was so far forward in the first place. So what I should be able to do is just on the ends of these, place target blocks. And then light blocks on the ends of that. And that makes the screen. And then I can fill in the rest of the light blocks. Give it a little bit more of an outline. Right. Give it another outline just to make it look nice. Right. And the screen should now work. So if I turn on 0, all the lights should do that. Start flashing. 0! Let's go! It actually works! No way. Okay. Okay. Oh. That's a lot of delay. And it's not equal either, is the worst part. Like, the delay is slow. Yeah, see, it kind of... How do I fix that? how does one even fix something like that? Increase delay as you go down? Until they're all the same? Yeah, because some of those are closer. But hey, at least it works, even if it kind of draws it weird. That's fine. I can figure that out later. This system at least works. So then now I can program in the next number. It should be 2. So let's think. 2 is... Hold on. 2 would be... If I wanted to draw 2 out of 8 in Minecraft, right? In Minecraft, a 2. If I do this, start at the top. Back. And then yeah, that's a 2. Okay. So a 2 is everything. In terms of this, it'd be everything except the 2 there. These 2. Wait, no. Oh, no, these 2. So everything except these 2. So let me just mark those with yellow. These 2. And then on this side, it's these 2. So everything else. So these 2 are first or second, yeah, second and hold on. Okay, I have to go. I'm gonna finish plugging in this 2, and then I'm gonna go. So it's fourth one of second and third row. So fourth one of second and third row. So it's first row. So fourth one, second and third row. So those 2, I think. And then first one of these 2, or the next, skipping this row. So then first. So then that's what I need to mark out on there. Right. And so that's second one of the second row. So that's here, up, over down. Second one of the second row. Why am I doing 2 instead of 1? I skipped 1. Okay, I almost programmed that in the 1 slot. Okay, so 1. And then... Right. And then shift 2 over. So I think it'd be that one. But I'm not sure. I think it'd be this one. Yep, it would. Okay, and then here, and this, and so it's that one. Shift, except it's not there. I'll fix it later. Shift, so this one. Wait, what? Yeah, this one. Shift 2 over, shift over. Okay, fixed. Okay. So then that should now work. If I take a lever, I should be able to turn on 2. Which would then display... Oh, no, I got that all wrong. Okay, that's completely wrong. Basically. Because it should be these 2 off. Which are the 2 I marked there. I have no idea how that came out as this. Wait, what? Oh, wait, first of all, I turned on the first row. From the second row? It turns on the row beneath it? Okay, I see what's happening there. But I also see some issues where I'm going to need to replace a bunch of copper bulbs in these areas. And then that should be good. And then I just need to fix that so it goes like that. So it actually only turns on what it needs to. And then I forgot that I'm gonna need to work a repeater into this, which works for everything, is gonna continue to be fine. I'm gonna run into a problem when I get to 8 because I'm not gonna have any space to put the repeater. Because like right now I can put it there and it's fine. Won't be fine when I have that. But this should draw 2. It doesn't. Because I made a hole. Yep, that would definitely stop it from making a 2. There we go! I can make it 2! Okay, I gotta go. This is OGMoo-cow signing off. Have a great rest of your day. And remember, Jesus loves you and he died for you on the cross. Don't take that for granted. And I shall be back to work on the calculator again. Goodbye, chat.